Okay, now one little note, we were trying to get everybody to sign off on the waivers so that we can have people's pictures up while we're meeting and not have a problem with anyone who might object. And we didn't get all the signatures, and I was trying not to have the pictures appear in the video, but after we videotaped it, I found that there were some pictures of people, and some of them had not signed waivers, but I found a way to edit the video so that I could cut off that part. So today, if you do want to look at your friends, you can go ahead and put the gallery setting on and look at people while we're going. As long as it's on the right-hand side, I can edit it out. And if the people who haven't signed on yet can sign that link for giving us the right to use the pictures, that would be great.
Deborah, where's that link?
I sent it a couple times, but I'll send it after this class again.
Oh, okay.
It was an
don't think I
email.
saw it.
It's a SurveyMonkey link, and it's surveymonkey.com/ something about the rights. But I'll send the link out after class.
Okay, I didn't see it. Thank you.
And I'll send that, and I'll also include a link to the video for session 2 that was
Great.
a problem. And we'll
Thank
also
you.
be uploading the video from session 3. So Kit and I might get nervous right now because we're having so much trouble covering our content in the time allotted. So the fact that I'm talking to you about these housekeeping things might seem anxiety provoking. But I'm going to take a deep breath and realize it's more important that we're all together on these things than that we cover all the content. So, but we have an amazing class for you today, and much of this is work that Kit has done over decades that now is brought up to date and put into a format for us to look at, and I've gotten to see some of it. You're going to have a fun time today. So the first thing we're going to do is to do the show and tell over last week's homework, which most people were not able to do. And this homework projects is just a projects idea that we're giving each other. Whatever you can do is great. If you can't do it, don't worry. You can return to it later if not. It's kind of a spiral. Some people will get it the first time we go around, some will get it another time. So not to worry, but we'll be reviewing all that in a moment. The second part of the class is a thing called Spanish Steps, which is an amazing round of photos that Kit took of people taking selfies that's just wonderful to look at. And then there's an actual selfie workshop that teaches a lot more about what we can do with the camera in selfies. And then Camera 101, I found, took me back to early photography lessons, but relating it to the iPhone. So I think you're really going to enjoy that. There's an image editing class that Kit's put together with someone who lives close to him in Rhinecliff and is an amazing expert in editing. And then there's avatar making, and you may not all know that we can each have little images of ourselves that follow our profiles in different software as we go, and this is a place to learn to make those. And then the homework, we'll be going over the homework assignment for the next week. And in terms of desserts, is a whole list of wonderful resources that Kit's put together for folks to look at. Kit, before I jump into show and tell, do you have anything else you want to say about any of that?
Nope. Keep going. I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
Okay. All right. So basically, here were your 3 homework assignments. The first one was to post your favorite resource or sources on the main iFogey.org website. The next one was to look at your own iFogey.org website and to just look around. And the third one was to just think about that website and think, what could it possibly do for me? And we're going to talk about that a little bit. So for the first one, here we go. So this was just it, and this will be in the slides you'll see of this class afterwards. I just recapped what it takes to do that posting here. So you also have an IQ that shows you, but here it shows you if you were trying to post via the phone, here's how you start. And if you're trying to post via the computer, here's how you start. And then here are the 3 steps you take to post after that. So this is one more way to look at how you post. And it does feel awkward when you first start it, but once you learn to post, it's very easy. It's like email. but it connects you to all these other people and places. So here we are going to watch Max's tutorial. Whoops. And we do have a problem that sometimes the platform doesn't like to run the video.
Hi, Fogies. This is Max. I'm Deborah's son and Kit's nephew. I want to give you guys a very, very quick tutorial on how to make a post in WordPress. Now, when you log into WordPress, you'll be greeted by this dashboard. Then to make a new post, you'll navigate over here to where it says Posts, and then Add New. For the purposes of this, we're just going to do a very simple image post to the My Work section of your website. So to start off, I'm going to give this a title. I'm going to pretend this is my first assignment, so I'm just going to call it Homework number 1. Then down here, you'll see it says type slash to choose a block. So if you go down here, you can hit slash. It'll bring up some options for you. Alternatively, if you go back here, you can click the plus button, and that will do the same thing. It'll give you a list of options. So I'm going to go ahead and click image, because that's what we want to do. We want to put an image in here. And so if you already have stuff loaded to your site, your site's media library, you could click that. I'm going to use something from my hard drive, so I'll upload a new image. So hit here, upload, and then down here I've saved something that I want to put up. So there it is. This is the Weeping Woman by Pablo Picasso. So over here on the right-hand side, we've got some options. You can change this to rounded. You can change the size of it. Bunch of different options. You can make it quite small, medium, large, and then even within those, you've got other options to make it a little bit smaller. I'll go with this one. That looks like a pretty good size. And then if you also look within this box, if you scroll down, looks like it captured some metadata, but I saved a little caption here in my notebook. So I'm going to use that information and put it into the caption. I'll just press Command V for paste, and then I've got a caption in there. So I've got all this, and that looks pretty good. And then over here in the post section, it has a post format. It'll be fine if you leave it the way it is, but you may as well call it an image. And then down here, categories. This is an important section. This will tell WordPress where you want this this image or this post to be posted. So you could choose from any of these categories, and you can add new categories as well. But for the purposes of this, I just want to put it in the My Work section where you guys will be posting your work as you go along. So that's where I'll put it. And that is pretty much it for this. This looks good to go. So I'll go ahead and hit post or publish. And then you'll see over here, it'll give us an option to go check out that post. And here it is. And you can see it's also, if you will go to My Work, it's also posted here. So there is our post, homework number 1, The Weeping Woman. Hopefully you guys do not look like this when you try to do this. Thanks and good luck.
So he's a very nice helper. Um, and we can keep him making more videos. If there are special things you're having trouble with and you don't see a video on it or an IQ on it, tell us and we'll get another aid up for you. So the second assignment was to access your own website and to look around. And I heard a little bit that some people had trouble finding their own website. And to just make that clear again, you'd type in iFogey.org. Then if you're Anita Jones, you'd type A for Anita and Jones. So it would just be all lowercase A Jones. And then slash login so that you can log in and treat it as the editor of the site. If you were telling your grandchild you wanted them to look at your site, you could just tell them to go to iFogey.org/A Jones, and they would see Anita's website as a public viewer. But for you to log in, you want to do iFogey.org/A Jones/login, LOGIN, type in your username, which in this case would be A Jones, and password, which is I with a capital F Fogey. And you all can change your password if you're worried that any of the rest of us are going to invade your website and put up spam. But so that is how that one works. Now, I think I'm going to skip the poll here because I don't want to take more time than we need to, and we know people are having trouble with this. So I'm not going to do the poll on how many people have been able to do that or not. Instead, go right to this design thinking. This is just a more general thinking thing. And I did at the end of the last poll, I was throwing out a few ideas to ask you if you're interested in. Are you interested in putting up pictures of your gardening triumphs? Are you interested in putting up recipes and having your nieces and nephews add their recipes and having a whole family thing of recipes? Are you interested in having travel slides and maybe having a record of various different trips with all the things, not just pictures, but reflections? Are you interested in having a journal that might be private that you don't share, but it's for you? Or a blog, which is like a journal, but public so that anyone who has your link could read it? Are you interested in organizing resources you're finding online? Do you wake up like I do and find a lot of things in your email that have articles and things that you'd like to come back to, but you're not sure how to find it again? If you save those links to a file on your website by category, you can keep all of this and come back later or share it with others. Those are just a few of the ideas I'm throwing out. Have any of you had thoughts about things you'd like to do with the website? I also had, do you want bragging rights with your grandchildren or children so you can just show them, any of those things? Or is there a course that you have in collecting stamps or whatever that if you put it online and charge money, you could get very wealthy and share that wealth philanthropically with Vassar College? All kinds of ideas. So would any of you be willing to step up and tell us, have you had any thoughts about what you might put
Jump in.
Kathy. I, I, I'm looking forward to when we can travel again more freely. I'm actually up in the Adirondacks right now, and in a place that has no cell service and very limited Wi-Fi. But I often travel with family and friends, and I could see, as we're planning a trip, pulling it together on a website. I often looking at articles from Italy, for example, and uploading those, or favorite restaurants or that kind of thing. So it's kind of easy sort of thing, but where friends or family access it.
Wonderful, wonderful. That sounds great. Ken, were you going to speak up?
Yeah, I was just, I also like the travel idea. For years, when we've traveled, we've collected, a paper file. It's so nice to be able to think that it's possible to put all that on a web page so that everyone else has access to it. In the last, I don't know, decade and a half or so, Jane and I have kind of focused on our genealogy, and we're trying to share it with the grandkids. And that's become a big focus. And I've done a lot of hard copy where I've sent them my research, but it's all printed out. I'd love the opportunity to build a website.
Wonderful.
Where they could get all that genealogy stuff and the narratives that we built to accompany it.
Fantastic.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to do. In addition to having a place to put the work that I have done in fiber art.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. I love the idea of putting your own crafts up there so you can share that, and you'll end up, finding other people you find online who do it, who can share theirs, and that's wonderful. And the genealogy idea is terrific. There's so many things that just get lost from generation to generation, and
Right.
Pulling it together from the multiple different places you can find that information is terrific. Ken, I love that idea. Anyone else?
Yes, we've bought Dreamweaver a few times. It's terrible because my field was illustration. I illustrated for a living.
Wow.
I don't have a website. My husband's done sort of a website, but it's like circular. It's unnavigable.
Yeah.
And it's, but I have Instagram, and I have a lot of stuff.
That's great.
A lot of stuff, that I would like to sell.
Wonderful. Well, one of the things I love about having a website is you can link your Instagram account and your Pinterest account and your Facebook account and have, them all linked right there. And then you can easily take the content you've already put up at Instagram and put it up in the website so that you bring it all together. One of the wonderful things is this is a way for us to organize our brain and then take that and organize this content so that we can share our brain with other people. And this WordPress is going to be like 1,000 times easier than Dreamweaver. So that's great. Well, I'm excited to see all that you guys are going to do. We are going to move forward into the most amazing presentation on Spanish steps.
Okay. This is, I'm just going to go through this. There's captions for you to read. I prepared this actually for a group of middle schoolers who met one summer in a program at Vassar College on campus that I was involved in setting up and sponsoring. And it was about, we were doing some stuff with selfies. And this is, I had been in Italy and I was doing selfies. So here's just a little thing. It's just a slideshow. There you go. Let's get into some selfies. Please pull out your phone. We're going to take 20 minutes and we're going to do some selfies. No vanity is welcome in this next few minutes. You're just going to take some shots, and I'm going to show you there's no vanity involved because I just did the same thing, and you'll see those pictures. So just follow along with me, please. Here we go. I'll speak slowly and try to go long. And if you get into trouble, raise a hand or send a note, and Deborah's going to be monitoring those. So open your camera, please, and open the camera app. And select the front camera. You've done this before, so it'll turn around and take a picture of yous. All right, step 3, choose the photo mode. That's right down there in the middle. It's the default one. And tap this little upside caret. I guess it's a caret, whatever that's called. Tap that little options button. It's going to open up some options. It's going to options, and the options that's going to show among them is aspect ratios. An aspect ratio is the term used everywhere for the ratio between height and width. A TV screen is 4:3. It's width by height. And high resolution TVs are 16:9, and most computer screens are 16:9. I have no idea what the iPhone aspect ratio is. Of course, it's vertical, not horizontal. But here, I'd like you to tap the square format, please. Step 6.
I don't have that.
You have to click the 4.3 to get to it.
But I don't have a 4.3.
You don't have the thing that says square?
I didn't have the caret even.
No, I don't have the.
The caret's at the very top.
The caret's at the way top. You can see it in this picture.
Yeah, it's
No.
not on the phone.
It's not on
And
mine.
then
No caret.
No
Oops.
caret. No arrow.
I think it must depend on what version you have of iOS.
That must be right.
7+.
Yep, this would be mine's more up to date than that.
do you
So
see?
aren't you at photos? Are you at the front facing photo for yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take it from there. And maybe a square format. If you don't have it, shoot with whatever you got. We're not being held up. Now, here's some beautiful pictures of your subject. I'd like you to take one right now. You're going to take 6. I want you to take one right where you're sitting, right there, and look into the camera and take one. Hit it. Now I'd like you to get up if you need to and walk to a window or a side lighting of some kind. And just take one there, just real quick. No time to put on makeup. I'm going to keep talking and encourage you to do this. Side lighting is wonderful. And when I'm painting, I always need side lighting. So that's your second one. And while you're there, or as you come back to your desk, I'd like you to take one with your head slightly turned, like I'm turning mine now, and give us a smile. Give us a goofy smile. Give us a nice smile, any kind of smile. Okay, these are 3 selfies shot with the photo mode. There's another mode we're going to explore right now. Maybe you know about it. That is the portrait mode. So I hope on your phone, as shown on the left in my screen, there's photos, and then there's one right next door to it called portrait. and you can move with your finger, go over there and click it, and portrait is going to come up. Now, when it does, you should see something like in step 9 here, the contour lighting, or this series of little balls that are showing different kinds of lighting. Now, this is extraordinary. Your camera is going to change the lighting in the room, folks. How is that possible? I have no idea. It's revolutionary, but there's 6 kinds. And I'd like you to go through those. There's a natural light. It's the first one you're in, then studio light, contour light, stage light, stage light. I can't even read. I'm covering my thing here. I'm covering my screen up, Deborah. I'll have to practice that some other time.
You know, Kit, we should have you plugged your cell phone into the.
Okay, well, I didn't. Anyway, Keynote. So take 3 more, okay, guys? The window has 6 choices. Try one. I recommend this stage light, which is cool, which takes the background out. And I really like the highlight one with the high key light, monochromatic. In this case, it's just black and white. Monochromatic can be, I guess, 3 colors, have blue and black or something. Anyway, you should have 6 gorgeous pictures of yourself. Just, you know, you probably are panicking. There's so many and they're so pretty. Oops. Step 11. I want you to find the Photos app and open it. And this is, you do this all the time. So you're going to be looking at those pictures in your Photos app. Photos app is it's where all your pictures go, of course. And mine has 4,000 or 40,000 completely disorganized, screwed up pictures. But they're there. But the most recent ones are always at the bottom, at least when you go to all photos. So you have all photos selected. And then the top button is select. So when you're moving your mouse around and you'll click a picture and it'll go full screen for you. And then you can take a nice close look at it. Or you can sort of stand back and see them all in the configuration that's on my phone. So take a look at your beautiful artwork you've just done. And I'm not going to have you do it right this second because I think it might take time given our conversation today. But I'd like you, I guess I'm adding this as an assignment, Deborah. We'll have to remember. I'd like you to complete this thing by posting it to iFogey. And actually, there are 2 places at iFogey.org, our website, that you should post it. One is called Homework. It's on the main site.
And Kit, they don't need to post it twice. When they post it, they just go to category and they click Homework. And where's the other second place you want it posted to?
Well, on their own site. So they've got it on there.
So they're going to post it once to the iFogey site, choosing the category Homework 3. And then they're going to log into their own website and they're going to post it and choose the category My Work, just like Max showed in the video.
Okay, that'll be a good way for you guys to actually get into it. And you begin to fill up your thing with this extraordinary art. Now, at the end of this class, I'm going to give you a little assignment that is more like art. So I don't want you to think I'm just an art like klutz. There is a IQ called Selfies, which is at the site, and you can go to that, and that will lead you step by step through what I've just taken you through. I'm going to move forward. This is what that selfie looks like, and you'll be getting you'll be able to get a PDF of this, and you'll be able to click it, and it'll take you right there and see myself more. These gorgeous photographs. Here I'm leaping now into about our cameras. And this is a kind of a quick overall, probably 5-8 minute talk that I'm going to give you about what your camera is on iPhones. It's an overview. Some of you have older iPhones, and as we talked about before, you may not have all of these things. Please don't go Don't go out and buy a new one. Just see what you can pick up from here, because it'll be much the same stuff. So I wanted to read you this one quote that's kind of cool, and it's true. This is from David Pogue, this guy whose books about iPhones and the ecology and everything's. He's written a whole bunch of books about technology. He's funny, and I like him. He writes, every year, Apple introduces even better cameras. The latest ones take insanely clear photos in near darkness, zoom 2.5 times, employ computational photography to adjust their color and lighting to to something I got wrong, to the best effect maybe, and use artificial intelligence to combine multiple exposures for the most flawless results. I mean, you guys, these guys, things are amazing. They shoot video in stabilized 4K, whatever that means. As a result, here it is. As a result, the iPhone is the most used camera of the human race. And we are members of the race. So the recent phones, there's a picture of my phone, and you can see just the lenses on mine. Mine's an 11, iPhone 11, and you can see what we have on these things. Those are the cameras. And of course, there's a camera that faces forward that's hidden behind the screen. So I want to run through some things about your camera. One is that if you swipe to the left on your screen, it defaults to the photo mode. And you can, so on your startup screen, if you just swipe left, you're at the camera right away. And I want you to also know this little itsy bitsy teeny weeny green dot. That's always telling you when your camera's on. Okay, that's stuff right there. That shows you how you open the phone, the next green dot. Let's go to the next one. Thank you, Deborah. Click forward. Nope, back one, please. There's a thing called orientation. You can hold your camera two ways, and it really makes a difference. If you make a movie with your camera held up in the vertical position, which is called the portrait orientation, it's really hard to show that movie anywhere in the world except your iPhone. So there's portrait orientation, up and down, vertical, and there's horizontal, which is called landscape. They don't mix very well. So when you're taking pictures, you should think about that a little bit. Next one, please. There's a kind of taking photographs called live photographs. And what happens if it's on lots of models and you see that the green arrow going to the on button, if you see that on your phone, you should be able to look at your phone and sort of listen to me. That's the one. And when you click that, what happens is that you catch the moment you want because it takes a 3-second burst of video. Here I'm taking a picture of Otis, is my dog. And I want to capture a really good picture of his face, but they don't hold for you that well. So you want to, I'm just leading you through this. You don't have to follow it on your camera, just sort of follow it in my voice and watching the screen. So if you tap the live button on the screen, and you turn it on and off, there's a green arrow pointing to the camera itself or the screen of your iPhone, and that's where you can go through those images. You can also drag through by putting your finger on the little strip of pictures that's at the bottom, and you'll look through all these pictures. Next one, Deborah. Here's why I'm doing all this, is because I want to find just the right picture of Otis. So here's just a sampling of the split second I wanted to get. And that's it on the screen. It was right in the middle there when Otis looked up his head because I said something, and he looked right at me for a second, and there's a sparkle in his eye. And is that not the cutest dog?
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
We're going to have a poll about Otis later, and I'd like to see your animals. Okay, so next one, please, Deborah. We're going to move through some other camera modes. Okay, that was one. Now, there are 6 camera modes on your phone, and there they are. Let's go to the next one. They all live in this app. 3 of them have to do with video, and I'm going to sort of put them aside and not talk about them today. I want to talk about the 3 kinds of modes of cameras that I want to talk to them: photo, portrait, and pano. You already got introduced to photo. That's what you shot your first selfies with. And your second group, you did it with the portrait. So we're going to run through that. There are 4 things to know about the photo. First is okay, next, Deborah, please. It's a default camera. It goes to there. In photography, guys, there's a lens called a 50 millimeter lens on 35 millimeter cameras, which sort of is the equivalent of what you see with your eye. That's the kind of normal one. And that's 1x. But let's go on, and next one, please, Deborah. You can see that the camera has different focal lengths. It has wide angle, normal, and telephoto. All of those were taken from the exact same location in my studio. There's a wide angle, normal, which is the equivalent of a 50 millimeter lens, and then a telephoto. Next one, Deborah. You can also fine tune. If you touch those buttons, this little arc comes up, and you can fine tune the lens you want. So if you want it like in between, you can do that behind you on the screen, it'll change. Lots of controls. The last control is a light meter. Please go forward. On your screen, when you tap anywhere on the screen, this little yellow line shows up. And what's happening is that's actually the light meter, and it's reading the light in that part. So if you put it on the dark side of my face, the camera will adjust for that lighting. And if you put it on the light side, it would adjust for that lighting. It's nice to know about when you're shooting in backlit situations and things. Okay, let's keep going forward. We are now going to talk about the other lens, the portrait lens. Portrait lens has 3 things about it I want to show you. The first one is, if you could go back one, Deborah, I think I may have.
Sorry, I'm doing chat at the same time I'm driving this. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll be clear. So this second one, the portrait lens, is our close-up lens. It's always in a close-up mode. And you know that, back please, by the fact that it's got a 2x times 2. It's twice as close as the normal lens. And sometimes you'll get that little note in this picture saying, move further away. If you're too close to the object, actually, in this one, it won't take a picture. And it's very helpful that it'll tell you, like, hey, you loser, move back, come on, do it that way. So let's go on. Lighting. This is this amazing thing I referenced earlier. Just sitting there with your camera, you can make different lighting effects. You were trying it on your own face. Here's a little more breakdown of it. These are all shot right on my desk of my pencil holder, and showing the different kinds, letting you compare them. You may want to go back to this slideshow, to kind of go through with your camera in your hand and sort of check them out. It's really worth getting to know these very basic things about taking pictures. It'll bring you a lot of fun and pleasure. Deborah, please, next. There's also exposure. The portrait mode lets you very fine tune how much light is getting in your camera. Now, I don't know what you know about f-stops. They probably, if you've been a photographer, you'll know about them. F-stop is the system of measuring how much light is getting into the camera through the lens and onto the back of the camera where film used to sit, and now where a light sensitive chip sits. And you can control that. And with that is the most amazing aesthetic. And that's why it's worth thinking about. Let's go, I'll show you the aesthetic. It's called depth of field. Now, please look at these 3 images on the screen. They're all taken from the exact same spot. The first one, it's the f-stop. If you look at the first picture, the green arrow is pointing to f1.4. That's a very open lens. 1.2 or 1.4 is like as big as a lens can let in light. The other end is f16. And for most cameras, even old photography ones, f16 is just letting a little light in. And what that does is it changes the actual amount of things that are in focus in the background. So if you look at the number one, look past my pencil holder and see the stack of books behind, there's 4 books standing there and you can't read anything. Go to the next one, which was shot at 4.0, sort of halfway through this F system. And you can at least see that there's something there. And then, of course, go all the way to the right at F16, we have tremendous depth of field. So you can see the things that are in the pencil holder sharp, and then you can also see the furthest thing back sharp. And if you go further back and look out the window, you can see it's beginning to get sharp outside too. This is a great creative thing to control. And in your assignment this week, I'm going to ask you to get a friend and take pictures of him or her, young or old, and just for 30 minutes, take pictures of them. I'm going to give you some ideas of what to shoot. And then you're going to go into the editing and play around with them and see what you get. And you're going to definitely get some great portraits of your pal. And this is one of the things you may want to play with. Next, Deborah, please. Camera, oops, there's one more, exposure. Oh, the depth, this is, I'm sorry, go ahead. This is another example of the depth of field. These pictures show it. Some are from Mediapedia, some are from a book I got. If you touch that link, Depth of Field, A Beginner's Guide, it'll take you to this article or book or whatever it is. And then below that, which is going to fascinate all of you, and I want you to really spend deep time on this. This is the scientific formula about depth of field. And I learn that thing. I want you to know that thing. It's going to be on the final exam for sure. Okay, next one. Here are the last of the modes. The last thing your camera can do is panoramas, and they are really fun. And the camera tells you exactly what to do. You can, if you go to panorama, and you'll see the screen has things like I'm showing you here. There's an arrow that will show that you're going to turn, as you turn across the room, you're going to want to keep this white arrow on the yellow line. That gives you a smooth background. You're going to want to move continuously. You're going to, you can do it in wide angle, medium shot, or a close-up. And down at the bottom is the white shutter to do it. Next slide, please. And you'll see from my studio sitting behind my desk, one is normal, one is a standard lens at the bottom, and one is a wide angle lens at the top. I didn't do a telephoto, but that's me panning across. And those are beautiful. You can get some great portraits and some great effects, and it's great on trips. It's really fun to have these things. They go wide and stuff like that. All this are in the software on your phone. Okay, Deborah, next, please. I know I'm moving really fast, but I feel like I'm in the rhythm. I hope you're with me. You can go back and get this later. Now, this slide, fix it and edit. Fix it and edit. Kids going nuts. Fix it and edit. Fix it. Here's what I want you to know. Next slide, please. All your camera, which I just took you through, while you're shooting, you can go nuts playing around with all these lighting effects and depth of fields and things. And I want you to do that. Those are very important things to learn. But the most important thing is for you to concentrate when you're shooting on what's the position of the camera. Where is it in relationship to what you're showing? Most of the time, we don't have choices. We're standing in a doorway, the family's doing something funny, you put it up, bam, it's done. Or you're on a trip and somebody's standing in front of the mountains behind, it's like, oh, gorgeous, boom, take it. But if you can do so much better if you begin to really think where your camera is, your position, the position of the camera. And then, of course, it's really important to wait for just the right moment. The first thing I showed you with my dog Otis is great because you can capture just great shots of your grandkids jumping or doing stuff up in the air. They will love those, I promise you. The rest of the stuff about photography, what I've been introducing to you, exposure, lighting, focus, cropping, in-camera effects, All those things, it's really better to do in the quiet of your study with your iPhone on your lap without any pressure from anybody. So my assignment for you will be to spend 30 minutes shooting pictures of somebody and then 30 minutes just sitting and looking at them and playing with the next sets of things. The next set of things is going to be shown to you by a visit I made to a friend of mine, lives on my same street, named Bruce Murphy. We're in the sphere of image editing. I'm going to take you through a few slides here just to let you get a feeling of Bruce's work. This was all done on a very ancient iPhone. I don't know what model, but very old. So Deborah, I'll just let you click through the next 4 after you've had a chance to look at each one. All these were shot right around our town. These are all the village of Rhine Cliff or nearby. Bruce has a beautiful garden. I want to point out something here. On the upper left corner is Bruce. And before him are prints made from what you're taking on your iPhone. So you guys, you make a good picture of a portrait of a friend or grandkid, say, or a sister or somebody. You can actually go to the UPS store, and Bruce takes in his own paper, but he gets these really large enlargements for $20. And the smaller ones, which are really nice, they're like 11 by 14, are about $10. That is a nice thing to be able to do. And your phone has the resolution to be able to print those out. This is a big time deal and was never possible before. So let's go on. Bruce's, thank you.
Bruce,
Yes.
I mean, UPS or Staples?
You can go to both.
FedEx.
Really?
UPS is what I go to. I think FedEx does it too. FedEx does do it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
In fact, I go to FedEx. I don't know about UPS. I lied. You can go online. You can send them a JPEG, which is the file of a photograph. There's another file of photographs called TIFF, T-I-F-F, which means that the shot has never been condensed. All the data that's there from your camera is on it. In the town of Rhine Cliff, where I live, is a guy who prints beautiful things. He's an artist in printing things out. But I'm going to go on here. Here's Bruce. He's a trained fine artist, grew up in Texas, been an artist his whole life. He works in oil. He works right now. He works in spray paints on metal backgrounds. And these are a few of his images. I will let you come back and look at them later if you want, and you can go to his Facebook or his Instagram and see lots more if you're interested in what he does with his old phone. Next one, Deborah, please. I'm now going to lead you through the steps of image editing, what Bruce is able to do, and I'm going to show you the categories. Quick overview here, right? So there's adjust, which is kind of an automatic way your camera will do it, filters, and framing. They're all three big creative things to do. Let's go to the, and to get to all of them, sorry, Deborah, back one, please. Back two, I guess. All you have to do, that if you finish shooting and you go to look at all the pictures you took, you'll see this edit button down below. That's a big deal. How do you get to all this stuff? Boom, right there. So you go through and pick out one you like. That's the one I picked out. I shot those pictures of Bruce with my camera in a little burst or however I did. Anyway, hit filters and hit edit button. Here we go. Next one, please, Deborah. Thank you, Deborah. So the adjust mode seen up at the top is really an auto mode. I should have made another circle in a different color under the word auto. And it's shown by this magic wand, kind of an icon at the very bottom. This icon you can see, right? There's going to be a row of icons and they all do different things. And they'll edit for you. What are they going to do? Well, on the right of the screen, you see 16 things that they will control on your photograph. They will do vibrance, warmth, sharpness, exposure, brilliance. What do all those things mean? Sometimes it's hard to tell. On a different photograph, Different photographs have different things that can come up, but all of them are useful. And you can take your picture that you take of your friend, or you can take the selfie you took of yourself as just a test and just sit quietly with a cocktail, I recommend, and to go through and see all the effects of these things. Many of them, as you go through, are going to have their own little control things, and you mess around with that too. Like brightness, you can take it all the way bright or a little bit bright. It's all graduated. This is really fun. And this is what Bruce does to get the effects you just saw. Next one, please, Deborah.
Kit, we're 2 minutes from end of class time.
Whoa. Oh. I'm gonna let you go through these.
No, continue. It's great.
Kit, do you want to give the homework assignment and then come back to this so that people who have to...
I think we should, yes. Let's do that. We'll come back to whatever slide we're on. Deborah, thank you for carrying that. We'll go move through that. Here it is. Stop right there. Oop. I made an IQ of what this assignment, which is called artsy portraits. And the goal here is for you to make and post to our site, to your site, 3 pictures of somebody, the same person. I guess you could do different people if you want, but that's asking a lot. You're going to have to talk to them and tell them that you need them to cooperate with you. So maybe, a good friend would be nice, or somebody who likes you. And that's under this thing, setting, and the first thing that you can see a little bit, setting up chicken soup. It's my advice for you and how to get these people to be cooperative, because you need them to cooperate. Then you're going to spend 30 minutes shooting. I am giving you here, I don't know how many, I didn't count them, but leads, ideas, suggestions on what to focus on. You cannot focus on all these in 30 minutes. I want you just to read through, and there's a little picture to show you. Some are about how to put a frame in a frame, use a window or a door, or even a picture frame. One is about shadows and cast shadows, like playing around with those. One is like getting really close. One is like framing. There's one there about live photos that we looked at with Otis, but you can do it. There's my son, Sam, when he was 12, at the beach. Look at him jumping. There's close-ups. There's all this stuff. There's something called occult point of view. And what I mean there is that most people take their picture standing. It's from 4 to 5 feet above the air, from the height of a person, a human being, a bipod shooting. I want you to get down on your belly. I want you to shoot through things. I want you to go up and shoot down the stairs on something below. I want you to think about those things. That's a cue to that. And there are a few more in there, okay? All those are cues. What you should do is sit down and try to think of which ones of those appeal to you, maybe 2 or 3 of them, and use those in your half hour. And then you thank your person, you have a drink, you take a nap, and then you come back in another 30 minutes and you play with all the editing things that Bruce Murphy is showing you how to do. And they're summarized on the right-hand side. But in the bottom of page 3, there's an important thing called a headache awaits. And the headache is you can get totally lost in keeping track of which pictures you take and which they are. So if you'll read this, it's 101 on how to label your movies, the pictures you take.
And
how to
somebody in chat, Rachel, thank you very much, is telling me that I got the time wrong and we have a little bit more time. But I'm glad we came to the homework first. We're going to go back to where we left off in the session and go as far as we can that folks want to stay on. But Kit and I now are going to have every session in these detailed slide form posted right away. So within about a half an hour, I'm going to post this whole presentation from Kit in slide form on the website. So you'll have the video a little later, but slides, and I'll go back and see the assignment and everything else. So earlier in the lesson, Kit asked for you to post your selfies, and now he'd also like you to do the photos of a friend and to post both of them to 2 places, to iFogey.org, picking the homework category, the homework 3 category, and to your iFogey special personal site, clicking my work. And I really want to urge you all to go to the website and explore all of the different parts of the iFogey.org website that might help you. But I'm going to go back to the point of this
Okay.
where
This, that little thing there will help you through it all. So Bruce is going on. Okay, we're back to Bruce. Go forward, please. Let's run through. Oh, anyway, you can see Bruce shows you all the things. Can you go back one, please? Deborah, just one more. I'm showing you all the things you can do in editing, but if you go forward, Deborah, down to the next slide. No, that's backwards. The other direction. That one.
This one?
Yes, that one. Thank you. What I'm showing you, like, is all this editing worth this shit? I mean, Kit, what are you talking about? On the left here is the source image.
I'm listening to this class.
Am I getting censored? Okay, so there's a source image that Bruce took and showed me. And these are all editing variations done in his little old iPhone to make that into a different picture. Come on, look at that. Depth of colors, tints, framing, all these things. That's editing. And it is really, really fun. And it is where you become an artist with this stuff. It informs the way you start shooting. Once you start editing this stuff, you've got some ideas, you got some stuff up your sleeves. Deborah, if you'll go forward now. I did a little demo. I took those are the 6 images I took of myself when I did the thing that I had you do this morning. And I picked one, if you'll go on. So avatars are these little circles you see around, your face. You'll have them on different things. I thought it would be fun for us to make one. And I also wanted to enforce for you using the app that we talked about in the very first class, which is called the markup. So I'm just going to, Deborah, let's go forward. I picked one. That's what those things are I'm talking about. Each one of these is really cool. I mean, they are wonderful things. I love these things, and they're a great source of creativity. And I think you should have a couple. You should have one for Mondays and one for dress-up parties and one for Halloween. You should have a collection. So this is okay. Forward. Here is an avatar demo. This is an IQ. You can go and read this one. I'm just going to fly through it. Basically, I take the picture. I go to the markup thing. Deborah, next, please. I'm going to fly through this. I tap the icon. Remember this from the first class we did? I hope you will a little bit. There's an eraser and there's things. And I pulled on a circle. There's a thing for shapes. I made a circle, 5. Next. And then I put the circle onto my face and I made it nice and round around the right thing. Next. And then I went in with my brush and I colored in outside the circle so that I would just have a circle, take out the outside. And I just did it by painting black into the stuff around it. I'm using a stylus. That's a $5 stylus. Maybe it was $6.50. And we talked about that. You can do this with your finger because you zoom in and then you can do it with your finger. It works. So that's the stylus on the right, just to give you the size. Undo is great. You screw up, bing, you just undo it and keep on going. Next one, Deborah, please. So there I'm just sort of finishing up. I go to a wide brush. You can see number 8. I'm filling in around the circle. Next one, Deborah. I'm almost done. I could get in close. I undo things. All this is in that little hint thing. If you go through it, it'll remind you. Next. And I came to the end and then I wanted to do something in the background and I didn't want it to be too much. So I just, against the white background, that's the reason I chose white. I wanted to be able to draw in it. I could have given myself rouge and makeup. And at another time I might, or could have in another light, because I'm very attractive and I'm good with cascading curls and come across my face like that. I'm very attractive. But I like this one and I gave just a simple background. You can take your picture and go kablooey with it. Wouldn't that be fun? Or you can take a picture of your grandkid, put it in this thing, take the picture, and give them an IQ of themselves that will blow them away. You can give your 10-year-old granddaughter a mustache and, a cigar in her mouth or something. You can have fun. I think that's it. Deborah, what's next? I think that's the homework project, the artsy projects we went through. And if you'll just go down, I want to remind them that there's a suite at the end of the thing. Okay, next one. There are three things here that we're putting in as dessert. Desserts are just meant to be fun if you have a little extra time, and they add up. And the first one is called Vanity, and it's from a poem called, I think it's by Ogden Nash or Dorothy Parker. And the poem reads, vanity, vanity, all is vanity. That's any fun at all in humanity. And you're seeing a version here that's an old version. There's going to be a new version because it's going to have a lot more pictures of Deborah. In fact, it's a salute to Deborah. I just put them in. I couldn't quite get it done. The one in the right, the block of things, my wife found that, and there's a link to that thing. You know, you can make these things. That's crazy. I think that's the ugliest thing I ever saw. I'm totally incensed. You know, see there, he starts with a picture shot of me, and then it goes through these steps of turning it into an avatar. I want to puke. That's so bad. But I'm sharing it. The other things on that thing, these are pictures by a friend of mine with his phone, who's a very clever fellow, and I put in a collection of just what one person does. And then there's one other thing on here, which is I made a slideshow when I was teaching at the Newell School about the history of photography. It's very academic. And if you view it, you probably want to watch the presenter notes, which of course are tiny. No program I've ever seen will put them up big enough so you can follow them. But they're little points like this one. It's Niepce, Frederick Niepce. That's like the second photograph ever taken in the world. And if you go through this thing, if you like photography, stuff, I think there's about 100 slides. And it just accounts for what has going on. It's not up to date or anything. That's Muybridge, of course, and on it goes. So those are the three desserts, just giving you a little look at them over the counter. You can take one and devour it. And you can send it to a friend.
So, Kit, I'm sorry that I hurried you up earlier and went to the homework first. I got panicked because we've run over so many times.
You're right. No, I'm glad to do that.
But I'm glad that we have a moment at the end of this class to come back to our website so that you all can just take a quick look. This is, if you go up to the lesson on iCloud, which was tough for a lot of folks, if you just go back and click on that, you're going to be able to go through a detailed look at what we covered last week that included how to post and a lot of other background. So I want you to know that that is up on the website now, and that if you want to go to look at how to post anything, you just need to go to the plus button and hit post, or you can go to the side dash bar to hit new and add it. And Max went through the video. Do people mostly feel clear on how to post now that you saw the video? Or do any of you need to come and meet separately to make sure you know how to get the homework assignments Kit's just given up on your website and up on our website? I can't see any.
I think I just need to try it.
Okay.
Great.
Well, if you try it, I'm gonna do one other thing here while we have a moment, which is I'm gonna go to Anita has told me it's okay that I use her as a sample. So I'm going to Anita Jones, A Jones, login. This is what you're all going to do with your own, to get your own website. And when you do it, you get to the back end of your website. And from there, you can directly post here, or you go here to post. But if you want to look at what it looks like from the public side, you just click Visit Site. So this is what Anita has now. And as soon as she posts some work, it's going to show up under My Work right here. So we talked about those assignments will get posted to My Work. When you post it and you choose My Work as the category, it's going to automatically go to this page that's My Work. We don't, and but if we go back to you can always click on any website. If you click on the logo, you'll get back to the home page. Now this home page has sample copy. And any of you who want to customize your home page, with sample copy. I'll make a IQ on how to do that, and we can meet and do that separately. I don't think there'll be time in our classes to do it, but you can all have a custom logo. You can change the name from Anita Jones to Anita Jones the Great, or whatever you want. And you can then put any images and any content you want on the home page. This is the menu, and you can change the menu to have different items, and we can show you that as well. In this case, Max made these all based on one sample. We put the My Work section on for you on purpose so that all your work during this course will be in that one place, as well as on our overall iFogey.org site. But you also have a gallery if you want to put your crafts, things that you couldn't share before. And it has a journal place where you could just keep notes to yourself, and a place to write about yourself. But you can add items or change these items. Any desires you have to customize this, we will help you to do that. I just wanted to make sure that you all know how to post, and hope you can get the homework in that Kit assigned this week. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Are there any questions before we sign off? Well, we have a new class manager. Pam is the class manager. Pam, do you want to say hi to folks? And you're going to be the one communicating to them on reminding them about the Zoom link, and you're going to take attendance each week and be generally supportive, right, Pam?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And I'm going to work with Linda for a smooth transition, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
We really
We're lucky to have you. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. So it's, as long as I don't have to, I do enough Zoom outside of this class. As long as I don't have to mess around with the Zoom, I'm way okay.
Good. Okay, anyone else? Any comments or questions?
I have a question. Did I go too fast? I was speeding. It was enough to give you the feeling, right? I'm looking for little nods, and Kit, you're nice. You did fine. Was that okay?
You did fine, Kit.
Thank you, Molly.
You did great, Kit.
Because if it was too fast, I was aware I was zipping. But maybe that's the way to do it.
Send over Otis.
Very nice. You'll lick your face and your knees and your hands.
Yep.
Alexa has something to say.
I thought it was great, but I want to say after class, if it's okay, and I will listen to this with my husband, who's a photographer.
Great.
And, he'll help me through this. But I get really lost, and I mean, I can't even get on I don't know. And I don't want to hold anyone up, really, but I want to stay with it. I'm going to try, but
good.
Well,
Alexa, it's great you're just leaping into this.
Pardon
Alexa,
me?
it's really good you're leaping into this. I mean, your attitude is wonderful.
Well, I mean, my father wrote software in the 50s, as I said. It's like it didn't translate to me at all. And my sister does this, at Quinnipiac, but I just
well, stay after Alexa. Stay after Alexa, and we'll go and try to figure out where you need to do things. But I wanted to make sure that you all do know that on the website now you'll be able to see all the slides from Kit's class today, from the class where I did more last week, and you can go review those. There are the IQs on each special skill, and Alexa will be happy to just work with you one-on-one to get through whatever's the block there.
I have a question. I followed today's, it was wonderful about using the camera, although I think like others, I have a much older iPhone. So some of the functions weren't available, but the ones that were there I found, and I thought it was a wonderful presentation kit. But I don't know, if I may, I'll say after with Alexa too, I'm utterly puzzled. I can't get onto the website. I did it during the first class when we set it up. I downloaded the app and I thought it was all there. But I can't get on. I can't figure out what I'm doing. I keep typing in the URL. So I'll stay after.
Molly, are you having the trouble getting on the website from your computer or from the phone?
From the phone.
Okay, because sometimes people have trouble getting on from the computer, and it's because they've got things in their browser that are messing it up, and you sometimes have to clear your cache. So during the week, I had a text back and forth with one classmate who had the problem with getting in, and it was from the computer. Usually from the phone you can get in. So I'm going to, after the class, I'm going to plug my iPhone into Zoom so you can see my screen, and we'll go through this again. And like we said earlier in the call, I think it was Molly who was having this problem, that if you can't find the little app that you made, you can just make it again and put it freshly in the iFogey folder so that you have it.
And
I'm going to stay on too because I can't get in it.
Okay.
I want to. Can I say something? I don't know what IQ means. I don't know what an avatar is. I don't know what a megabyte is or a pixel. I know what pixels are, but it could be too much for me, really. And I should just like hire someone.
Okay, well, IQ is just a name that Kit and I gave to simple guides. So we just call it an IQ, meaning kind of it's a brain help for us old fogey brains, that we just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So those IQs
IQ stand for
Kit and I have made these pages that are PDFs so that you can download them or look at them on screen, print them out, however you want, and they take each skill and go through it step by step. So that's all an IQ is. But your question makes me think, Kit, we should put up a glossary, and we'll put up a glossary on the website, and we'll put up the glossary with a list, and then we'll have each name linked to the thing that covers it in the class. How does that sound?
Deborah, I started doing that when I was teaching at the new school because there was so much problem with terms, and it's understandable. Alexa, that's exactly right. I mean, you need to have the language of some of these things, and if you don't get it,
well,
but
I'm
if
dyslexic.
we gave you, there's that IQ, Alexa, that's about downloading Mediapedia. And Mediapedia is a book I wrote. It's not about the iPhone. It won't do what Deborah's suggesting, but it is about, it's a couple hundred pages of pictures and definitions that go with computers and with this world we're in. And it's fun to read. It won't cost you a nickel. And it's great to have in the bathroom. You can just prolong your privacy and have a nice quiet look at different terms. And I think you'll find it good. So if you're able to download that, you have to go to our site and find it, and then you have to download it. And those will be important skills to get. And if they're not obvious, you'll have to do them. I offer that as a dessert possibility. Oh, and have we given it? We did get that dessert, right? Deborah, it was last week's dessert.
Which thing, Kit? I was getting my iPhone up on the screen.
Did we give Mediapedia out last week in your class? Yeah, I thought so.
Yep. It's the dessert from the end of lesson 2. So if you just go back to the workshop 2 tab on the website, you'll see all the different ways to get into session 2. And we did find out from you all there's a problem with the video, and we're going to redo that after we finish this after class session. But the slides from session 2 are up, and at the very end of it, it has the link to Mediapedia and discussion of it. Mediapedia is also up on the navigation bar under resources. So the last item on the navigation bar to the right is resources, and right under that it says resources for all the resources that people upload, and under that it says Mediapedia. So you can go to it directly in either of those ways. Also on every workshop page, so workshop 2, there's a section that says desserts at the bottom, and each link is there. So Mediapedia is also there under desserts on session 2. So because we found that one thing that can kind of confuse with Apple and iPhones is that there are many ways to do things, and we're kind of following up on that because some people's brain tells them, oh, look under resources, and some people tell them look under the session, and people get to things different ways. We don't all have to get to it the same way, but if you're not finding it, speak up, and we probably have a bunch of different ways to get to it. Do you see that I just found out that in Zoom, you can plug your telephone into your computer, so you project your telephone. And so that's what I'm doing here. You're seeing my telephone, which I never knew we could do until a couple weeks ago. And when we told you how to set up the iFogey folder, we were first telling you to upload the public website by just going in Safari to iFogey.org and then using the little up button and then mousing down to where you add it to the home screen. So that makes our workshop series on iPhone creativity, the public website, it brings that to our folder. But if we want to go to the back end to be able to post, because all of you are registered as authors on the website, instead you want to go to the iFogey author side. This is taking you to the back side of the website that I showed you, where you can add a new post by clicking the plus and then post.
Tell them again about the name they use to sign in on this, the login.
I will.
Okay.
So, thank you. And so in order to set that up, I was just showing you mine. I already have it set up. Once it's set up, I put the public one on the lower right, and I put the one that says dashboard on the upper left. Dashboard is the word that they use for the back-end view of the website. So when you see the word dashboard, you know this is your driver's seat. This is where you can make changes to it rather than if somebody were just a public person seeing it, because you are an author of this website. So to enter something, you want to go to dashboard. So if you are now going to set this up for yourself, you want to go to your Safari browser and just type in iFogey.org, and I have a terrible time with spelling on this sometimes, /
Is it, can you do it in Google?
Well, you could use Chrome as a browser. I'm not sure if it works for setting it up. Just go to Safari on your phone for this particular thing to do.
Okay.
And
Because otherwise it won't put it on your home screen unless you use Safari, right?
I believe that's true. I haven't tried it
Yeah.
with Chrome. I use Chrome.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
But because they told me to use Safari, I decided for change to follow directions. So
It won't work on Chrome because I'm a Chrome user and yeah.
I'm a Chrome user too, but I'd use Safari because they told me to, and I thought this was such magic, I was willing to
Yes.
follow directions.
Yes.
So what I want to show you here is, so because Rachel just helped with that, and she also helped me with the timing, I'm going to enter this as if I'm
Rachel, I'm going to come visit you.
Okay, Anita, anytime.
Okay, so what I've typed here, and of course I've misspelled it again, my fingers are too fat. So iFogey.org/rreisman/login. Now we click go. Now we are at her entry. And so now we want to bookmark this at this point, because that means we're automatically getting in as an author. So we go to the little up button, and then we see dashboard for Rachel Reisman. So this is just Rachel's. And then we go down to find add to home screen and click plus. And now you see it's got the logo that we put in for you students of iCloud. So if I add that, that's now going to be added to my home screen. Here it is. See this at the bottom? I now have the login to Rachel's. And Rachel, I promise you I will delete this so that I'm not posting to your personal website. But I just wanted to go through this. Does this seem clear to folks? This is how you get your own editing rights to your own, to the iFogey website. And also, I just did it to actually get into Rachel's website.
And there's an IQ for that, right, Deborah?
Yeah. So
And what's it called?
You want make your own app is the one. So what we just did was we created the WordPress author access to Rachel's personal website.
Okay, so if it's I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, but if I type in https://iFogey.org/Shanley/
You
What?
need, okay, you don't need to type in https://www, any of that. All you need to type in is iFogey.org/mshanley/login. And that will take you to your personal website. In order to get to the editing rights on our main website, it's even easier. All you do there is type in iFogey.org/login. That takes you to the login page for our main website. If you log in with your name then, M. Shanley, and the password that we set up originally, which is just I_F_Fogey, you will then get into authoring rights to the main website. If you then just scroll down on that, hit the little up arrow box, scroll down and hit add to home screen, and that will enable you to have a one-click entry to authoring on the main website. So what we've just gone through gives you two different authoring entries, one to your personal website and one to the main website.
Okay, so I really don't want to hold other people up, but what happened was when I did what you said, right, about the Slack, what hopped up then was WordPress, and it's asking me for my email, my username or email address, and my password.
Just put in that username and that password. So put in M. Shanley and then put in iFogey.
Okay, thank you.
So the trick is the software behind the website is WordPress. So by setting you up as an author in the website, you are automatically getting into WordPress. So the login to WordPress did not show up for me, but sometimes it shows up for other people. Don't worry about it. Just use your ID and your password. And those are what they are. They're the same for the main website and for your personal website. So the only way that you distinguish in logging in to set these up originally is one of them you just type in iFogey.org/login and log in with your ID credentials. The other one, type in iFogey.org/your first initial last name/login, and that will get you to your own. Once you add these to your home screen, when you see the little cloud, that's the link to post to your own personal website. And when you see the half-filled iFogey green thing, that's the one to get to the dashboard. And if you've put the public iFogey website on your computer, it says iFogey, and then underneath it says Creative Workshop, which is the byword for the public site. And if you've logged into it as an author, you see the same logo, but underneath it says Dashboard. And Dashboard is what tells you you're entering as an author.
Yeah, I'm going to have to work on. I don't want to take up people's time. When I try to type those in on WordPress to try to enter, it says I typed in M. Shanley as my username and iFogey is the password, and it tells me that the password I entered for the username M. Shanley is incorrect.
Okay.
So,
I'm
sorry.
Did you do capital F, Molly? Did you do small?
I did initially,
F?
and then I saw that it didn't have a capital F, so then I typed it in without the capital F.
Okay, well, Molly, if you just stay on for another minute after the other people leave, I'll go into the back side of the website and we can change your ID or password. Okay. I'll look at what they are and we can.
I'm really sorry. I don't want to take people's time.
I'm sure people feel some empathy.
Listen, I don't understand any of it, and it's like I hope this is recorded. Is this recorded? Molly, don't feel bad, for God's sakes.
It is recorded.
Usually we'll be able to watch this again.
Usually we've been editing out the casual conversation before and after and putting the class up. But and in this part of it, we have all your faces, and I don't have releases from all of you, so I can't publish the part of it that has all your faces. But what I can do is I'll go back to see who signed the releases, who hasn't, and if anybody whose face appears has not signed a release, I'll write to them personally. If I can get all of the releases, then I can publish this. And maybe I'll publish this as a separate video. So people who want to look at
that would be good.
Okay, that's what I'll try to do.
Deborah, I'm happy to sign that. I didn't see it come through.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll send that out to everybody.
Okay.
If I haven't signed it, let me know. I don't know what I signed.
Okay.
I'll do it for $1.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, Alexa.
I
What?
said I'll do it for $1.
That's pretty cheap.
Perfect.
I'm
Okay.
cheap. What can I say?
All right. Well, we
You
will
guys are good sports.
keep going, and perseverance furthers.
Yeah, and a visit to Rachel.
I'll revisit all this. It was wonderful, Kit, what you did, and I
Yeah.
just have to listen again and go slow, slow.
Well, if you go through the screens, when I get going, I kind of pick up speed because I wrote them and I reviewed them and laid them out and fixed them and everything. So I can get up to fast speed. But actually, if you go through the slideshow, on its own, without me around, I think everything will be clear in place. I've strived to make it that way, at least.
Yeah, but I have an older phone,
I'm gonna have to up that $1.
Alexa, what is the operating system on your phone?
I think it's 7 plus or something.
Well, that's the model of the phone, not the operating system. So,
see what I mean? I mean, I don't really know anything.
okay.
I don't
We're
know
gonna
how I
get you
got
there.
this far. I don't know.
Well,
You're amazing how you've done it. Go buy a David Pogue book. That'll help.
it's gonna be so much better when you get a couple of these things solved, because
Yeah.
you may not even be noticing what you're missing because
Yeah.
you had that thing not there. And we fill that in, suddenly a lot of things get better.
Yeah.
So we need to see what your option is, and if you will, we'll do a little IQ on how to find your operating system.
Oh.
And-
Is it quick to just show how I have the things on my home screen, the icons, but I still don't know how to post, say, a photo to that screen, to the
website.
To the website. Thank you.
Okay, so here is the, right now I've entered as an author to the main website, and I click plus and post. And now
Oh, the plus.
Yep.
The plus, the green plus in the top. Go slow.
The video that Max showed you how to do this from your computer. The IQ that I have up on the website shows you how to do it from your phone, which now you're looking at my phone, and we're going to talk about how to do it from the phone. You can do it either way, from your computer or the phone.
Okay, I've got my phone.
In the
Plus.
beginning of session 3, the slides that are going to be up right after this, I went over the homework, and there's one slide that shows you can enter either from the phone or from your computer. You see the 2 different step 1s, and then you see the steps 2, 3, 4 underneath it. So here we want to title, and here we're going to say photo post. And you see my spelling is a problem. And then you see you get to choose a type of block. We're going to hit plus. Here we choose image. And so now I can either insert something from a URL or get it from the media library or upload it. So I'll click media library, and this is just showing us here are the images that are already in the media library. Now here are some. Ken, is this from yours?
Oh.
Whose is this?
That is one great picture.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah. Oh,
How
man.
have you posted this? So here is the caption, and you can write whatever you want. And then we publish.
Okay.
Hit publish again. And now it gives us the ability to either view the post or copy the link. So let's say you wanted your husband to look at it and he's not home. You could copy the link, stick it into a text message to him, and send it. But here we can take a look at it. Here's the post. We just did this.
That is the patron saint of iFogies.
It's my great grandfather.
What's his name, may I ask?
The Americanized version is David. When he was in Russia, it was definitely not David.
Wow. He's a very handsome man. So are you, you know,
Good
if I
team.
can say. That's a wonderful picture.
Great. Thank you so much. I have to leave, but I very much appreciate this class. And I'll try. I'll keep trying with Alexa. We'll get there.
Great.
Good.
We
That's
will,
great.
We will persist with you. So
Thank you.
you can't shake us. We're there.
Thank you.
You got a problem, we want to keep at it until it gets fixed, because we've all experienced having the frustration of trying to do something and it not working and not knowing what the wrong thing is. And there are a whole lot of possibilities for what the wrong thing could be. We have to keep turning over the rocks to find it, get it smooth. Once we get it, we are entering the new digital world. So that's what we're
Right. Thank you so much.
You deserve an extra glass of wine tonight, each and every one of you.
Well, I'm 6 hours ahead of you, behind you, so I have to wait for a while. I guess I'll get the videos up before I do the wine.
I'm sure.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Great session.
Really fun to be with you. You're a nice group.
Yep.
Thank you.